Hello and welcome to Highlights. My name is Jim Strawn, host of the television program. Highlights from the heart of our community is brought to you through a collaboration between my company, Jim Strawn and Company, Kanawha County Schools, TV, and Optimum Cable Services. And if you're a regular viewer of our show, and we certainly hope that you are, you know how much we love to focus on those grassroots organizations, those charitable, not-for-profit groups, and businesses and people doing phenomenal work, amazing work to move our state of West Virginia, the Kanawha Valley, St. Albans, and Charleston, and all points in between, a much better place to live, learn, work, and to play. And on today's Highlights program, we're going to feature two organizations doing just that. It's time to catch up with our good friend Deb from the St. Albans Parks and Recreation. And then after we talk with her about the 9th annual Take a Walk on the Wild Side, we're going to catch up with two friends of mine and talk about the annual Charleston Scholarship Dinner that benefits the Mountaineer, the WVU Mountaineer Athletic program in Morgantown. So lots of information coming your way, lots of good insight. We hope you enjoy it. Sit back, relax, and soak it all up. As I turn to my right and welcome into our very first segment, our good friend Deb Keener. Debbie, how are you?
Great.
It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you. It's always good to see you.
This is becoming a habit.
I hope so.
Well, this is the 9th year that you've done this. I don't know if we've done all 9 of them, but we've been doing it for 3 or 4 years. But it's that time of year again. The event is called Take a Walk on the Wild Side. It's brought to you by the St. Albans Parks and Recreation. You're a volunteer with the St. Albans Parks and Recreation. Of course, this happens in St. Albans at the City Park. Is April 15th the date?
April 15th is the date.
It starts about 9 o'clock in the morning and goes until 12:30. Deb, talk again about what people can expect if they haven't been to Take a Walk on the Wild Side.
Well, as you said, this is the 9th year, and it's a free event. It's a family event.
Nice.
So everybody from grandma, grandpa, all the way down to the kids can come and enjoy themselves.
And
There's
no
something
charge.
there for everyone.
No charge.
Absolutely no
It's free
charge.
admission.
We do ask that if folks would like to leave a donation, because that goes toward the future events of this sort.
And there might be some things you can purchase. Is there food and drink there?
There's food. There'll be food and drink. There'll be snacks that people can pick up, fruit, water, that kind of thing.
You'll have a T-shirt that folks can purchase as well, I understand. So
Yes.
this shirt right here is very nice. And the theme, I got to get this in, water, water everywhere. That's why the T-shirt looks like it's a rippling water. It looks like it's an ocean or a spring or a creek or a lake in West Virginia, but it's a beautiful T-shirt. And I interrupted you. Go ahead. What's going to happen at the event?
Well, there's going to be an awful lot going on. We have our friends from the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection will be coming to do some stream stomp and teach kids and adults who want to participate about insects in the water and what the term benthic means, and they'll learn about benthic, and I'm not going to say any more
I'm going to have to come and learn about that myself, because I don't know about it. So we're going to tease the audience with benthic.
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 Yes, they'll be going over insects in the water and how cleanliness of the water. The insects in the water show you what the cleanliness of the water is. So that kind of thing.
Pretty neat.
We also have folks that are going to be talking to us about the weather. We have some folks from the hydrology section of the National Weather Service going to be coming, and they'll be talking about different climate changes and what that means to you and me, and they'll have some models there to show. We have folks from the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources going to be there. Forestry will be there. They'll be doing activities with kids and adults. We're also going to do something a little different this year. We're going to have and you're going to laugh at me here, we're going to have an owl pellet dissection. Owl hoot. Owl pellet dissection. Right.
Owl.
Yeah, because our headline program this year is from the Three Rivers Avian Center, and they were going to bring their Hoot and Holler program.
I see that on
And
here.
it's the West Virginia Owls program.
And that's like a half an hour. That's from 11:30 to noon then?
Yeah, it's
Give or-
about a
give or
half,
take.
15 minutes to a
Give or
half an
take.
hour.
Where is Brooks, West Virginia? What county is that?
Brooks is down right outside of Hinton, West Virginia.
Okay, Summers
And,
County then.
Yes,
I
they have
know
a,
my geography in West Virginia.
yeah, there you go.
Very good.
They have a compound where they rehabilitate injured and wounded birds in West Virginia and do a fantastic and a fabulous job of it.
You can see on the screen, we're also going to be doing what we've done in the past, that rain barrel kit. Talk a little bit about the rain barrel.
The rain barrels will be presented by our stormwater program here in West Virginia, in St. Albans. And the rain barrels will be available, and there'll be a small fee on those.
Okay.
That recoups the price of the rain barrels.
So people
for-
get to take the rain
Right.
barrel home with them, right?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
And so our Municipal Utility Commission will be there doing that, and we also are going to have some really interesting graphics. Because it's water everywhere, we want folks to understand that your rainwater, your wastewater, and your drinking water are all equally important. So we'll have some on there explaining about the three of those items at St. Albans.
We are talking with Debbie Keener. She's a volunteer with the St. Albans Parks and Recreation. We're here again, as we are about this time every year, talking about the 9th annual Take a Walk on the Wild Side. Would have been the 10th. Of course, we all know why. A couple years ago, we didn't get to have one. It's brought to you by the St. Albans Parks and Recreation. You can learn more about this event if we don't get everything covered, or if you have a question, call the Parks and Rec at 304-722-4625. You can see the number on the screen. You can also go to their website, very insightful website at www, of course, saparkswv.com, saparkswv.com. That'll get you to the St. Albans Parks and Recreation of St. Albans, West Virginia. Lots of folks have a hand in this. You're a volunteer. There's lots of volunteers. Scott is the program director.
He's a program coordinator.
Program coordinator, Scott Tweedy
Uh-huh.
of the St. Albans Parks and Recreation. This is such a neat event. Now, when it's for family members of all ages, and they come. Is there an actual hike somehow through the woods to look at some of these plants and flowers and educate people about, is that horticulture or botany or whatever you look?
Yes, there are. Yeah, we encourage folks to hike.
Okay.
They're self-guided hikes.
Okay.
All along the way, we have identification placards that they'll be able to look. But during the hikes, there will be naturalists and botanists and birders along
Okay.
the trail.
Oh, nice.
So if they're hiking the trail and they have questions or want additional information about what they're seeing out there, those folks will be there along the trail to help them. And just a great bunch of folks from most of them, well, all of them are volunteers.
Right.
They are all volunteers. Some from the West Virginia Master Naturalist Program of the Kanawha Valley chapter. Some from the West Virginia Native Plant Society, the West Virginia Bird Society, the West Virginia Forestry Section.
People that know their stuff.
Yes, they do. They
Much
know
like-
way more than I do.
Deb, much like you seem to know your stuff. We talk about this every year. You're retired. Talk to the audience and tell people why you're so passionate about this and a little bit about your background.
Well, I've spent most of my adult life out in our woods and waters of West Virginia. I spent several years in West Virginia State Parks. I was spent the last several years of my career in West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection. So, to me, it's a labor of love. You know, we have to protect our state. We have to learn about what our environment is, what our natural resources are, and the earlier we can teach this, the more prone to getting out there and enjoying our environment people are going to be. So I like to share that. I mean, it's a passion for me.
What kind of joy do you get when you see children, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, asking questions, learning, doing some of the environmental experiments or just some of the hands-on things? What kind of joy do you have in your heart when you see kids light up about learning stuff like this?
Oh, it's fantastic. I
I
kind of
know.
go back in time because
Yeah.
that's the way I was
Is
when
that
I
how
was
you
a
were?
kid, and I still have that. It still burns in me today, and it's just a lot of fun. getting out in the natural environment. And so we want to impress that upon people. You don't have to pay a lot of money to go out and do things, to learn and to enjoy the outdoors. You know, you can do that just by taking a walk on the wild side.
Take a walk on the wild side. The 9th annual Take a Walk on the Wild Side is brought to you by the St. Albans Parks and Recreation. It'll be held Saturday, April the 15th. It'll start at 9 and it'll go to about lunchtime, 12:30 or so. Some self-guided hikes. There'll be a scavenger hunt for the kids. There'll be some food and drink there. They're going to have some amazing, really adorable T-shirts for purchase. If you want to make a donation to the event, that helps offset some of the cost, but there is no cost to come in unless you want to make a donation. There's going to be some tree planting there, brought to you by the West Virginia Extension Service. I've got too many sponsors to mention. Boy, when you say it takes a village to put together an event, Deb, I mean, there's about 20 corporations and organizations and people that got behind this for you. Talk about how important it is that this thing takes about a year to put together. There's some of the sponsors, if you can read them now. But there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make this day happen, right?
Well, we actually start planning
I bet you do.
right now.
I bet you do.
I've already got my date set for the 2024 event.
Nice.
And so
It'll be in April next year,
yes,
usually in
it'll
April.
be middle of April.
As spring springs, as spring springs.
We try to have this event either the weekend after or the weekend before Easter, and
Okay.
so this year it fell the weekend after,
After,
which
sure.
was wonderful because it's a little bit later and the flowers are a little
Out,
more
blooming.
blooming out there, and it does take a village, Jim. It's amazing the support that I have behind us on this event. It's just amazing. Our local businesses, our state businesses, some businesses from out of state. It's just amazing that folks like to support this event, and it makes me feel like because they support it, we're doing something really good.
Well, we certainly applaud you and the committee and all the sponsors that get behind this. And we want to thank the St. Albans Parks and Recreation for putting this together. Great job, Scott, and all the gang down there. One more time, saparkswv.com, saparkswv.com. Go to their website. You can also give them a call at 304-722-4625, 4625. Call them if we haven't got to your questions or if you want to learn a little bit more. They have a wonderful, insightful website. And they pick up that phone Monday through Friday, I believe about 8 to 4 every day, so they can. And they're going to ask for someone there just about the event, right?
Sure.
A lot of people at that number knows what's going on when it comes to this event.
They know what's going on. It's it's something that people look forward to every spring, and we like to keep it interesting for them.
As a parting shot, Deb, maybe folks are watching this, they come every year or they see us talk about this every year and they've been there. What are you going to say to someone either new to the Kanawha Valley watching this or they've heard about it but they haven't been? What would you say to them about this event? Why should they be there that morning on April the 15th?
It's a family event.
Yeah.
That's number one. It's a family event, and it gives them an opportunity to go out together. The library has the program that they do where parents and children can go out and read a book on the trail. Kids can learn about things that maybe they've never even been exposed to, like the owl pellet dissection.
Yeah.
That's interesting. There's just an awful lot that folks are missing because they don't get out there, and that's what we want people to do. We want them to understand and learn and enjoy.
We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you on April 15th.
You bet.
We hope to see you on April 15th as well at the St. Albans City Park. Now, as promised at the top of the show, we're going to take a quick break, and when I return to the highlights from the Heart of Our Community program, we're going to be joined by a couple of good friends of mine, Devin and Matt. We're going to be talking about the WVU Mountaineer Athletic Club Charleston Scholarship Dinner to help the student athletes up there in Morgantown. I'll be right back. And just like that, we are back. What a great conversation we had with Deb, Take a Walk on the Wild Side. Speaking of taking a walk on the wild side, I have two really good friends with me right now. Devin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Devin Lopez, and you brought your buddy, my buddy, Matt Kelly. Matt, how you doing, bud?
Great. Thanks for having
Good
us.
to see you. Now, you guys are both committee members with the Charleston Scholarship Dinner, which benefits the Mountaineer Athletic Club. which ultimately benefits our student athletes who play sports
Sure.
at West Virginia University.
Absolutely.
Devin, you've been on the committee a couple years. The event is April the 24th in the evening at the Charleston Convention Center. Is that correct?
That is correct, 5:30.
What can folks expect when they come to the dinner?
It's a really fun event. It's usually loaded full with people, lots of libations, lots of speakers. We have some of the WVU great coaches there. Who doesn't love Hall of Fame coach Bob Huggins?
Right.
He's always in attendance, as well as a couple other coaches as well. Owen Schmidt is our keynote speaker this year. He's always a fun time.
Who doesn't love Owen Schmidt, Matt? You love Owen Schmidt?
Love the runaway beer truck.
The runaway beer truck, yeah.
I mean, you'll never forget that moment
So
when he
he's
cried on
our
national
keynote
TV.
speaker this year,
Right.
Matt. Owen Schmidt, noted for his just humble play, his hard play, his bloody play sometimes, and just his affection for Mountaineers and his affection for Mountaineer fans. He's going to be great. He's a fan favorite, isn't he?
Oh, he's absolutely a fan favorite. Everybody remembers him, so it's great. We'll see some 35 jerseys, I'm sure, on some little kids that'll be there, and bring back some memories.
Devin, in the past, we've done this dinner almost 30 years. Is that about right?
It's longer.
Maybe
I think-
35?
I think it's longer.
Yeah, we had it on
I
there.
believe it went all the way back to Don Gay.
Yes.
I remember Don Gay. I remember Don Gay, rest his soul, but he started this whenever it was.
He's my
30
next door
some-
neighbor growing up.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Over 30-some years
Yeah.
ago. But we've raised quite a bit of money
Sure.
over the course of this dinner, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Almost close to $500,000, something like that.
Yep, around $400,000
Okay.
or more. Last year alone, we raised about $54,000, and our target for this year is, and always is $60,000. But I say let's shoot for the stars and go for even more.
Yeah.
It's brought to you again, presented by the Charleston Scholarship Dinner. Is brought to you by Northeast Natural Energy. There's lots of sponsors. There's lots of ways that you can get involved. There's the graphic right there. You can always go to www.mac.com/events to learn more about the event. And on that site, you'll probably see, you can get a table for $1,500. We have some scholarship, or not, we have some sponsorship still yet available for the April 24th, 2023 Charleston Scholarship Dinner event at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. Tickets are $150. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Tickets are $150. You can get a table for $1,500, and then from there, the gold and the blue and the various sponsorship goes up. The money is important, especially in this time. College athletics is different, and we need the funds to help get our teams with the right players. And we don't just fund the football and the basketball, and it's baseball and all the sports, the women's sports and all the sports. This is an important event, isn't it, Devin?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's more important about it is that this dinner will fund a scholarship for a local area student athlete at WVU. They typically are in attendance every year, as well as multiple student athletes from all sports within the university. And what's really cool about the event is there's one student athlete that sits at every single table.
I was getting ready to say that
Yep.
to Matt. Matt, one of my favorite things about the dinner, and I think I've been to the last 20 or 25 of them, I haven't missed, but one of the neatest things, Devin's right, a student athlete who plays on a sport at WVU sits at the table, and as Devin mentioned earlier, there might be 50, 60, 70 tables there. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of people. How cool is it to get close to the 19 and 20-year-old student athlete that's on the rifle team, or the girls gymnastic team, or the women's basketball team, or the baseball team, or the football team, or I mean, they're all there.
Oh,
They're all
yeah, it's
represented.
amazing. I think it's always amazing, too, to maybe sit with somebody you know nothing about their sport and just hear what goes on a part of their day and what their life of being a Mountaineer
It's
is.
amazing to me the time management skills that student athletes have to have, any level of college. Their 24/7 is pretty much structured and scheduled for them. And so we sit there and listen to them, Matt. It's like, wow, how do you get all that in there?
Right. Yeah, it really is. It's impressive. They're carrying iPads around. They're carrying different devices on their body to tell them what they can eat, how many steps they've walked, and what they've burnt throughout the day. I mean, these kids now they're geared up and have to be ready to go every day.
Yeah, and the discipline's just so incredible. I mean, when you think about the
word.
discipline of
Yeah.
any college athlete, no matter what level they are, you really have to be self-motivated and self-driven, and just hearing them speak about that
Yeah.
at the event it's really neat to learn about, because it varies for each sport.
Absolutely.
So we're talking with Devin, we're talking with Matt. You can get involved as well. Go to wvumac.com learn about the Charleston Scholarship Dinner brought to you by the MAC, Mountaineer Athletic Club. The event this year is Monday evening, April the 24th. Devin, I do believe doors open about 5:30. We
Yes.
start with the social.
Yep.
That's a great photo op. We have many, many, many coaches there, some former players, current players. And then you mentioned earlier our keynote speaker is Owen Schmidt. But I want to make sure everybody knows that Tony Caridi, I'm sure, is going to be the master of
Absolutely.
ceremonies. I mean, he's just a legend when it comes to broadcasting throughout the nation, by the way. We happen to be very fortunate that he's our play-by-play announcer. And then we typically have a coaches panel where Tony asks the coaches some questions, and we have some student athletes on the panel as well. Folks can get involved. Talk a little bit about how much, we still have room for you, right? We still have room for you to be a sponsor, and you can still get a ticket to the event.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still looking for sponsors at any time. I always say get a group of friends, go all in together, and get a table together. You can be a table sponsor really easily that way, especially for someone like me who's a younger person,
Right.
still trying to make my way up in the world. And so a group of friends and I, have talked about getting a table together. But it's really fun to get involved. I definitely encourage it. It's a fun event. It's a funny event. There's a lot of joking around and tongue-in-cheek jokes, so it's very great.
If you're a Mountaineer fan, Matt, this really is the coup de grace. This is the place to be. Devin mentioned it's relaxed, but it's important. It's a party with a purpose, and Tony does a great job leading us down. Owen, a fan favorite. Let's talk about our current Charleston Scholarship Dinner leader. He's not with us today, but let's give Andy a little bit of love, Matt.
Yeah, Andy's great. I mean, the guy bleeds golden blue. I mean, he really does, and he's put this on his back. Don Gay and those guys have brought him in at an early age, and Andy's ran with this scholarship dinner for years, and he's done a great job to bring it up to where it is.
Andy Richardson, we're talking about you, buddy. Andy Richardson, the chair of the scholarship dinner, the Charleston Scholarship Dinner that raises money for the Mountaineer Athletic Club. Andy, great job. As always, I appreciate you, and we all the Mountaineer fans appreciate you. And folks, you got to get involved. April the 24th, 2023, time for the annual Charleston Scholarship Dinner presented by Northeast. Devin, you kind of glossed through it a little bit ago, but besides all the fun and the great dinner and the spirited beverages and the stories that are flowing and the hundreds and hundreds of people, you always leave with some pretty good swag, don't you?
Oh,
I love the
absolutely.
swag.
Matt and I are really fortunate with the rest of our committee members that we get to pick out the swag. So
Yeah.
we have a say, and we try to select something that's really enjoyable for everyone. Last year the table sponsor gift was a bag cooler. We've done glasses, we've done wine bottle openers, and this swag is really awesome.
Yeah, you're going to tease us with what it is this year, but not quite. It's just always really nice.
I can tell you it's really awesome,
Yeah.
but
It's,
I can't.
it's always something we would use.
Yeah.
Right,
So-
right. Yeah. So well, that's what's cool,
Yeah.
Matt. You're on the committee.
So,
you
yeah.
get to pick it out, right?
Right.
I'm here to tell you. Every year I get there, I go, wow, this is cooler than last year, and every year is cooler than the year before.
Well, and
the
it's
swag
unique.
is great.
Yeah, it's very unique. So it's not something you're going to see around, throughout WVU athletics and our fans. It's unique to the Charleston Scholarship Dinner. We hand select it every year. So there's the table sponsor gift and the individual gifts as well. So definitely, if nothing else, come for the cool swag.
I know, Matt, you know this about me. I've been involved with the WVU Golf Classic here at
absolutely.
Charleston every year. One of the coolest things to do is go to a Mountaineer football game in the fall. You're on the blue lot, you're in the light blue lot, and you see so much gear that you just know is from the Classic or from the Scholarship Dinner. So it's cool stuff. And you're right, Matt. It's stuff you'll wear and it's stuff that you'll use.
Absolutely. We also have an auction that's going live on
Very
April
good.
1st.
I'm glad you reminded me of that.
And you can download the app Live Source. And you can, even if you can't attend the event, you can still bid on all the experiences and all the different swag and stuff that's going to be on our auction as well. So that's going to be
Bidding is going on right now as we lead up to the dinner.
Absolutely.
It's Live Source, the app, right? Live Source. So you can download that on your phone.
Yep.
And go to the scholarship dinner and find that.
Yep.
You have information on how to get there, Devin?
If you visit our
Yeah.
website, it'll tell you how to navigate to that Live
Okay.
Source app. But one thing I will just hit on that Matt just mentioned is it's not just merchandise. There are some really interesting experiences this year. And I think Matt knows a little bit more about those than I do. But, we get these donated to us that people graciously offer them up. We've got some really cool signed balls from the soccer team and the football team and basketball as well. So, aside from the normal merchandise that you'll see that you can bid on, there's some really awesome experiences.
And that bidding is happening right now. It'll happen up until the dinner and throughout the evening at the dinner. Is that
Starts
correct, Matt?
April 1st. The
Is it-
bidding
it-
opens over April 1st. And if you,
Saturday.
So as this show's running, it is open.
Yes.
Yes.
Because this show actually started running
Okay.
on April the 3rd. So as this show's airing and
Yes.
you're watching this, it is open.
bidding is open, yeah.
Bidding is open. What are some of the really cool experiences? I'm sure it's like tickets to some football games, but it's some other interesting things. Experience is the right word for this, isn't it?
Absolutely. Experience to get to hang with Bob Huggins
Yeah.
for dinner or
Well, that's an
brunch.
experience right there.
It's probably the best thing you could ever do in your life.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the highlights of my life that I've done. So
The stories are just flowing along with some other
they're
things.
amazing. And,
Yeah.
and so those experiences, those are things you can take for your life. And I think that's, and touring the practice facility, going to some practices and stuff like that are always fun as well. Take your kids to or something like that.
Some of the
Just
behind the
some
scenes
buddies.
things that, we're fans, but we don't get to go into a
Right.
locker room. We don't get to go into a suite. We don't get to go into, a practice gym. We don't get to go into a team meeting. So you really get to become an amazing fan. And I'm going to kind of switch gears a little bit, Devin. Your passion for WVU and this dinner, where does that stem from?
Oh my goodness, I was actually forced into it. No, I'm just
Okay.
totally kidding.
Right, I'm sure.
No, I've obviously bled gold and blue since the day I was born.
Yeah.
My mom went to WVU, and just to kind of hit on Andy for a second, he's been a mentor to me growing up. Went to high school with my mom, and graciously invited me to be a member of this committee.
How
And
long,
so-
2 or 3 years now?
yeah, I've been a member for about 4
years,
years. now.
good.
Do we count COVID?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we raised money that year, but we didn't have a dinner,
Right,
did we? Yeah.
right. So that's kind of where it just stems from. My love of all things Mountaineers growing up as a little girl, attending games with my grandpa. I mean, really since I could walk, and maybe even before that. So I've just always been involved, and I knew that when I graduated from WVU, I wanted to contribute and give
That's a
back
great way to
in
give
some
back.
way.
It's a great way to give back. We continue to give back. You can help us give back, and you can help us support the Mountaineer Athletic Club and all the student athletes. Yes, we love to root for our Mountaineer athletics and all of our college athletics when it comes to that matter throughout the state of West Virginia. But if you're a Mountaineer fan and you want, we all want to win and we want to look good, we want to represent the state well, we need some good, solid student athletes to do that. And this is how we help them. And as we talked about at the top of the segment, it is a new era with college athletics. Matt, with about a minute or so to go, I'll give you an opportunity to give a parting shot. Why should people come to this event? Why is this event so important to Charleston?
I think
and
it kind
Mountaineers?
of hits off what Devin just said. Like, you bring your young kid or something to an event like this, you never know what it can do to their life, change their life. They make them pretty much bleed blue and gold, like for their life, and grow up in that atmosphere in Morgantown. I've taken my 5-year-old to a couple
Yeah.
games already, and
She loves
she's experienced it, and she loves to put her cheerleading uniform on and run around the blue lot. So, that's something I hope she carries with her for her life.
And that was
continues
you
to
as
go.
a child, Devin, and now
yeah.
look at you, young professional on the committee. I'll let you give a parting shot to the audience. If they have never been to if you're a Mountaineer fan, even if you're not, if you're just a fan of the college athletics, why should you be at this event on April the 24th?
Well, if you're in the Kanawha Valley at all, this is the event to attend for WVU, for the MAC and WVU sports. I mean, it's a catch-all of all these coaches you're going to not normally see together at one time. The panel is fantastic. It's a fun event. It's a packed event. If you want to know what they're looking into for next year, this is the event to come to and learn about it.
Very good. Devin, best of luck.
Thank you.
Matt, best of luck.
Thank
I'll see you guys there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And we hope to see you there as well. The annual Mountaineer Athletic Club Charleston Scholarship Dinner at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center Monday evening, April the 24th. The doors open about 5:30. We'll be down in the new part with the reception, and then we'll head into the Grand Hall for the dinner. Tony Creedy, obviously masterful at providing the MC duties, and we hope to see you there. WVUMac/WVUMac.com/events. That's all the time we have for on this edition of Highlights, as always brought to you by my company, Jim Strawn and Company, Kanawha County Schools TV and Optimum Cable Services. We'll see you on the 24th of April, and we'll see you next time right here on Highlights. Take care now. Go Mounties.